Wendy and Paula, Interactive Beginnings by Esther Ewan. There once were two women who were passionate about interculturalism. There was Wendy Frisbee, a human kinetics professor from UBC, and Paula Carr, an interculturalism specialist from the Renfrew-Collingwood neighborhood. Though Wendy and Paula were quite similar, they didn't know that each other existed. Wendy was in the westernmost part of Vancouver, while Paula was on the easternmost part of Vancouver. Would their paths ever cross? They needed each other, but they just didn't know it. Each of them had something that the other valued. Wendy was an expert in physical health and had ample access to physical resources, but needed more interculturalism and community engagement. Paula, on the other hand, had much experience and knowledge in community engagement, but needed more interculturalism and physical resources. Both wanted their communities to thrive. While going about their separate ways, Paula's niece Andrea, who was also Wendy's grad student, saw that each woman had something that the other needed. But bringing these two women together was a big challenge. One day, Wendy had a brilliant idea. Why not create an interculturalism, health, and physical activity seminar? UBC students can learn more about interculturalism and how it can enhance physical activity and overall health. While researching for her seminar, Wendy discovered that Paula, whom Andrea wanted her to meet, was a key resource. Wendy was finally motivated to contact Paula, and a beautiful friendship developed. They realized they were both passionate about interculturalism, physical activity, and community engagement. It all suddenly clicked. They were destined to meet each other after all. Together, these women brainstormed, and the concept for the Renfrew-Collingwood Intercultural, Health, and Physical Activity Initiative developed. This was later rebranded as Renfrew-Collingwood Interactive. Because of their willingness to explore something new, Wendy and Paula together bridged the gap between UBC and Renfrew-Collingwood. An intercultural partnership between the two individuals grew into the meeting of two much larger communities.
My name is Roseanne Lambert, and I'm pleased to narrate this short story, written and illustrated by Casey Clark, an interactive knowledge exchange student from the University of British Columbia School of Kinesiology. We've adapted Casey's excellent poem and illustrations for use by Interactive. Interactive stands for Interculturalism, Health, and Physical Activity, right here in the Renfrew-Collingwood community of Vancouver, British Columbia. Without further ado, I'm pleased to present to you the tale of interactive community partners. There once was a very nice neighborhood, but something there wasn't quite as it should. We want everyone to be active and not pout, but what can we do to get people out? Collingwood Neighborhood House threw out a proposal. Let's have a meeting, but nothing too formal. So out came various organizations in order to support better communication. Who were these groups who took on this task? Well, I'm so glad you decided to ask. First, there's Vancouver Coastal Health. They help everybody, regardless of wealth. Then there's Collingwood Community Police, protecting our neighborhood, keeping the peace. Don't forget Collingwood Neighborhood House, where strangers become neighbors. These are our stomping grounds. Windermere Family of Schools, supporting and guiding our future, our youth. Thanks to Collingwood Business Improvement Association, local businesses are a part of our community conversation. Renfrew Park Community Centre. offers fitness, recreation, and more to community members. Better at Home for the senior friends is a connection to community and independence. Spectrum Society for Community Living encourages people with disabilities to share in the giving. Last but not least, we have UBC, bringing a knowledge exchange from the university. Community partners first held the Common Message Workshop, where the meaning of interculturalism was the subject off the top. Then out went a survey asking who's not physically active, and what are the reasons, and how can we be interactive? The data showed reasons and groups that were not active. The community partners, CPs, thought of ways to be proactive. Working together, they put on various events, offered programs to help save dollars and cents. For example, we can name a few: Zumba in the Park, Recreation Fun Card, and a free class pass too. Creating a place and a time to talk, community partners have improved their intercultural dialogue. When neighborhood organizations work together as a team, Renfrew Collingwood becomes even more connected, it seems. You know, the community partners have more ideas and plans. Let's show our support and give them a hand.
This story explains what interculturalism is all about, and that is making connections. This project combines interculturalism with physical activity into what we call interactive. Connections, the interactive process, written and illustrated by David Sexton. We define interculturalism as embracing diversity, fostering awareness, connecting people, creating something new. We define physical activity, any bodily activity that enhances or maintains physical fitness, overall health, and wellness. In Renfrew Collingwood, we have a neighborhood full of diversity. With all the great physical activities that are available in Renfrew Collingwood, there are still a number of barriers to accessing these offerings. Groups experiencing these barriers include people with low income, new immigrants, socially isolated seniors, single parents, and other marginalized populations. To address this puzzle, the interactive project brought together 4 main puzzle pieces to discuss and develop a plan to break down these barriers. Community Partners was the first group created, and they created the surveys that developed our understanding of the needs of our diverse neighbors and the barriers they experienced. The Knowledge Exchange group came in from the University of British Columbia to bridge the gap between academia and community and share knowledge and resources. The Communicators are a group of community volunteers, staff, and students who developed a Common Message Workshop to communicate what interactive was all about. The final piece to this puzzle was the Connectors, volunteers from many different backgrounds who reach out within their own networks and beyond to help more Renfrew Collingwood community members overcome barriers and connect to more physical activities of their choice. Together, these 4 groups discussed over many months various ways of closing the gaps between physical activity and Renfrew Collingwood residents. After many months in action, all the pieces of the puzzle came together and closed many gaps. Many new physical activities were accessed, many connections were made between people who are different from one another, knowledge was increased, building the community's capacity to help Renfrew Collingwood thrive today and in the future. The interactive project has bridged the gap, overcoming many barriers and enabling community members to access more Renfrew Collingwood physical activities. Interactive's mandate: encouraging people in Renfrew Collingwood to be physically active while connecting with people from different cultures and backgrounds.
Think, Play, Connect, written and illustrated by Ignatius Butt. This is a story about a boy named Axel. Axel is 8 years old and he enjoys playing with his friends and has many ideas about games to play with his friends. He would like very much to share his ideas with adults too. But when Axel tries to share his ideas with adults, he feels intimidated and cannot express his ideas. And Axel, wanting to share his ideas, feels stumped. But bursting through those dark clouds is Jules, who sees that Axel is looking a bit down. "Hey, do you want to play?" she says. "Hey, yeah!" Axel exclaims. And together they play and play and play, and use everyday items to create lots of different games. And as they played games together, Jules and Axel became good friends, and would talk about lots of different things. "Hey Axel, what do you think teachers and adults can do to help different kids to play together?" asked Jules. And Axel, overflowing with ideas, was ecstatic to share with Jules. He was finally able to share the ideas that he wasn't able to share before, and he was very happy. So now, Jules and Axel go together to meet with the adults who want to know more about how kids play with each other. With Jules by his side, Axel is able to share all of his ideas with the adults comfortably and enthusiastically.
I'm Anamika. I'm a kinesiology student at UBC and was connected to CNH through Donna and Wendy's relationship. This story is about a man named Brian who speaks Mandarin. It materialized through a succession of phone conversations and emails with Kat. It began with a series of questions to Brian, which in turn, he wrote me this letter. This story is the product of Brian's words and my illustrations, and it attempts to capture his focus on community benefits and his interactions through physical activity. And it is called Finding Community. My name is Brian. I come from China. As a new immigrant who is adapting to a new lifestyle in Vancouver, I understand how difficult things can be. Thanks to the Collingwood Neighborhood House staff members who have welcomed me with open arms, I joined the Collingwood Intercultural Community Development Program and became a volunteer. At my time, I reach out to other people in the community and invite them to different community activity. All these supports will help people, especially new immigrants, become a part of the community and settle down like home. I am really grateful for this volunteer experience, which not only gives me an opportunity to get to know my own community, but also enables me to help other people. The volunteer spirit gives me a full sense of responsibility and keeps reminding me of the rights and obligations to the society. This is an identity map that I developed for Brian. It just shows where he came from, China, where he was surrounded by his family and his friends and his support community, and then coming to Canada as a new immigrant, where he had a language barrier which made adapting difficult, and then finding volunteer, which brought him to opportunities. Through a translator, he was able to find table tennis, which was where he was able to meet new people, and these new people had different ideas. They were able to accomplish goals together and create new things and teamwork. And this is where his volunteer spirit was developed. Brian's goal is to help people become more physically active. His role as a connector is to get to know what kinds of physical activities are available in his community and to tell people about them and get to know his neighbors in the process. Brian was introduced to David Sexton, who provided him with a translator to attend an orientation event. While at this event, Brian learned that they offered table tennis, an activity that Brian likes to play. Brian was inspired and made friends at this event, and since has been involved in playing table tennis 3 times a week. Brian has expressed that he is happy to be a part of this project, that it feels like a family to him, that he feels he belongs to his community and he feels at home in the community. Brian is working very hard at learning English so that he can share his experiences with more people. Without the opportunities, the connections that Brian has developed would not have been possible.
Mommy, Daddy, Me Time. Exercise and childminding at Collingwood Neighborhood House. My name is Lindsay Pozo, and this is a story that I wrote and illustrated for the interactive program. Carla grew up in a large supportive community with plenty of people to turn to when times got tough. She was supported by many other people and had a lot of family close by. However, one day, Carla and her family had to leave their tight-knit community to move to a completely new country. They packed up their life and got on the airplane. They arrived in Canada after a long journey, lacking friends, having a new house, new job, new country, and a new language to learn. They were overwhelmed. Dad left for work every morning at 8 a.m., leaving Carla to care for her children. Time for work, see you at 5. She loved her babies, but often felt cooped up in her home, and felt a desire to leave the house. I need to get out of this house. Let's go to the gym. She brought her kids to the gym, as she had no other options. She did not have family close by to take care of them while she was gone anymore. She noticed other parents, other moms and dads with their children, trying to use the stair-steppers and the treadmills. It was a disaster. They thought, we love our children, but we really need some time to ourselves. How wonderful would it be if we could have a child-minding program? Help us grow our child-minding program at Collingwood Neighborhood House. We would love to hear your thoughts. Share your opinions or suggestions with us at Collingwood Neighborhood House. We want to hear from you. Please contact us at 604-435-0323 or in person at 5288 Joyce Street in Vancouver, BC. We are open all week, so come on in.
The Things That I Learned from Telling Others to Be More Active by Christian Bencio. Hi, my name is Christian. I am 19 years old and I work at Collingwood Neighborhood House. I like gardening, dancing, and running, and I especially love trying out new things. I got involved in the interactive project because I love to volunteer in my community of Renfrew Collingwood, and I wanted to get involved in physical activities that I've never been confident to do myself. I was asked to organize CNH Interactive Physical Activity Week, coinciding with Bike to Work Week, where CNH employees would try their best to be the most active they could be in a week. I encouraged my coworkers to collectively track their physical activity to accumulate enough hours to walk to Calgary. CNH Interactive Physical Activity Week is an opportunity for employees of Collingwood Neighborhood House to come together and do their best to be physically active and healthy. I encouraged my coworkers to try to do different activities, to walk to work, and try new things. I actually thought it was funny that out of all my coworkers, I have the most privilege in time and the least commitments, and it was my responsibility to tell others to be more physically active. In encouraging my coworkers, I learned that it's hard to include physical activity in their lifestyle. It's hard to dedicate time for yourself when you have a family to take care of. It's exhausting to work 8 hours and have the energy or time for a fitness class. And personally, in my physical activity week, I was bombarded with extra work commitments, Halloween parties, meetings, and emergency stamp buying trips, along with other mundane errands. The idea of committing myself to a short run seemed daunting, scary even. As I had more conversations with my peers around physical activity, I learned that it's hard to take care of yourself when you have to put others first. And I also learned that being physically active is much more than achieving your dream waist size or seeing the person you want to see in the mirror. It's about caring for yourself. And here's a little granny saying, I take the time to be physically active because I want to see my grandchildren grow up. And this younger person says, I'm mindful of what my body needs. I exercise to live a long, healthy life. Physical activity is about care, not just for yourself, but also for the people around you. Take the time to be mindful of your reasons to be physically active.
Becoming who we are. My name is Naseeb Singh. This is my story. My life story right now. Years ago, I wanted to tell my story to people. I wanted to tell my story. Years later, I by myself, thinking. Then I stand up, looking around at everything and at the people. I look outside and see a world of opportunity, community of people. How do I get involved? What can I do? What can I do that is good for people? How come I bring people inside? How can I help people like me? People who are alone and senior citizens so that they are happy and we are happy. I look at Collingwood neighborhood house and I see the people and I met Kat. She gave me a volunteer job connecting people. I started coming to the meeting and I met Jessica. Months later, I have a working group every Tuesday at 1 o'clock for 1 hour. Patrick took the photo for the story. He joined us to walk one day while he taking picture. Walk with me. Walk with me. We walk, talk, and laugh. And walk, and talk, and laugh. The more I see people talking and walking, laughing and talking and walking, the happier I am. The happier I am. So I try to bring more people into Collingwood neighborhood house. We never stop. We never stop becoming who we are.